Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss the recent New York City ban on Airbnb aiming to lower rents. Has that work? And what are the impacts on tourism and the city's economy as a whole? All right, so let's get into it. All right, so in the bustling heart of New York City, a new chapter unfolds in the ongoing saga of urban housing and tourism. The city, known for its skyscrapers and vibrant street life, has recently implemented stringent regulation on short-term rentals, primarily targeting platforms like Airbnb. This move, encapsulated by the enforcement of Local Law 18, was heralded as a potential solution to the city's escalating rent crisis. However, reality has painted a more complex picture. As the law took effect, a promise to reclaim residential units for long-term New Yorkers, aiming to alleviate the pressure on housing availability and affordability. The city's officials and many residents hope that reducing the number of apartments available for short-term rentals will lead to a decrease in rent prices, making living in the city more accessible to a broader demographics. All right, so that sounds really good in theory, but I did a video on this. I knew that this law was not going to deliver on the results that they were hoping for. All right, so let's continue. So this law stipulates that short-term rentals are only permissible if the host is present during the stay and limits the number of guests to just 2 people. So I've done a whole video on this. I explained the whole thing. All right, so this new law effectively put an end to unhosted rentals that had proliferated across the city, turning entire apartments and homes into de facto hotels. The immediate impact was significant. Thousands of listings vanished from the platforms like Airbnb overnight, as hosts scrambled to comply with the new regulation or cease operations altogether. Despite these drastic measures, the anticipated relief in rent prices has not materialized. Reports indicate that months after the implementation of the ban, there has been zero significant decrease in rent or a noticeable increase in rental inventory. Well, how can that be? Well, this outcome has left policymakers and citizens alike pondering the efficacy of such stringent regulations. I mean, I don't think these politicians have no idea what they're doing, all right? So I did a whole video on this explaining why I don't think this whole thing would ever work, especially when the city got rid of the 421A tax abatement. So basically what that is just giving tax incentive for builders to build more housing, more apartment buildings. All right, so the city and the state, they got rid of that. So the persistence of high rents can be attributed to a myriad of factors beyond just short-term rentals, right? So Airbnb became the boogeyman that, they blame everything on Airbnb, why rents are going up. So, I mean, now we're seeing that was not the case, right? So New York City's housing market is influenced by high demand and little supply, right? Economics 101. And speculative real estate practices, among other elements. The simplistic equation of banning Airbnb to reduce rents fails to address these deeper systemic issues, all right? Moreover, the ban had unintended consequences for many New Yorkers. Some residents who rely on income from short-term rentals to supplement their earnings or cover mortgage payments found themselves in precarious financial situations. The ban pushed them to seek alternative ways to rent out their properties, often navigating through a burgeoning black market for rentals. Look, people will always find a way to make money. All right. So what these politicians have done is push people to go underground, forcing them to find other ways to rent out their units. All right. Other travelers have headed to New Jersey, causing the kaleidoscope of cities across the Hudson River to become the fastest growing market for Airbnb demand in the nation, according to an analytics site AirDNA. Others have ponied up for hotels, which are only projected to get more expensive in the coming years. So for many tourists, there are no good answers yet to the so-called Airbnb ban. This underground market not only poses risks to both hosts and guests, but also operates entirely outside the regulatory frameworks intended to ensure safety and compliance and fraud. Tourists too have felt the pinch. With fewer affordable lodging options available, many visitors have turned to neighboring areas like New Jersey, or they pay premium prices for hotel rooms, which have seen rates climb as demand outstrips supply. This shift has not only affected the city's tourism economy, but also displaced the tourist influx to surrounding regions. The city is hurting itself financially. As the city navigates this complex landscape, the voices of frustrated hosts and financially strained residents are growing louder, calling for a re-evaluation of the policy. They argue for a more balanced approach that recognizes the nuance of housing market and the diverse needs of the city's inhabitants and visitors. Honestly, if you have a single family or a two-family home, which is literally considered a private dwelling, I really don't understand why you cannot do with your property whatever you want to do with them. But the law is the law. That's what the people vote for. So there must be a cutout that will allow homeowners to continue to rent out their homes or short-term rental platforms. In many cases, mortgage costs exceeds 50% of homeowners' incomes because they lost that essential short-term rental revenue stream. Homeowners should definitely lobby their local politicians and have this part of the law reversed or at least tweaked a little bit. All right, so you've heard that old saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. While the intent behind New York City's Airbnb ban was to stabilize and reduce rent prices, the outcome has highlighted the challenges of addressing housing affordability through restrictive measures alone. The story of this regulation serves as a poignant reminder of the intricate interplay between urban policy, housing economics, and the lives of everyday New Yorkers. All right. As the city moves forward, it faces the task of finding solutions that not only curb the negative impacts of short-term rentals, but also tackle the broader issues plaguing its housing market. That is going to be all for today, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And let me guys know what you think. Do you think these politicians, do you think they've learned their lesson? Do you think they're saying, hey, you know what? I think we went a little too heavy-handed on this policy. Let's revise it. Let's see what we can do on it. This whole thing is nuanced. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the section below. Until next time, I will see you soon.